Hey YouTube, France Hopper here. Merry Christmas Eve, although I think in most places of the world it's probably Christmas already, so Merry Christmas. This is not Pioneer Square. I know I said we'd be starting down in Pioneer Square, but A, I'm a little bit early, and B, I forgot that the World Trade Center actually has some lights as well. So let's take a look at the lights of the World Trade Center. Let's get the live chat on. There we go. So this is going to be a goofy little roundabout bit here. But this is the World Trade Center, and they got these neat little icicle lights up that I found out about the other day when I was driving back from Freddy's and went over to Nido Parkway, which is just right behind us. So yeah, these are kind of nice. It's not like a whole lot to them, but I thought I'd actually start out down here instead, because I always forget that this is here, and they also have this really crazy little exhibit thing going on. I guess we're getting like a design museum or something in the World Trade Center, and so they have these, what they're calling street seats. And there's 15 of them, and they're made of like all these crazy different materials. Like that one was a tub. This one came from London. And all of them have these, you know, bright little orange beacons that tell you about them. And the sky bridge is apparently actually open, because the escalators over there were running. But I have no idea how the heck you get up there, and I'm not supposed, you know, I don't know if you're even supposed to be up there at this hour. But they do have some nice little lights up along the sky bridge as well. So very tastefully done. Nicely done, World Trade Center. All right, let's go over to Pioneer Square. We're all the way at the river, so we do have a bit of a walk. This is called Electric Avenue, and you might be able to guess why. If you have an electric car and you need to charge it, come to Electric Avenue, because I think with the exception of a Tesla supercharger, they have every single possible charger that you need. And I forget what network these are on. I think that's like EVgo. You know, get the PlugShare app if you have an electric vehicle. It'll tell you all about them. But yeah, the charging itself is free, but you do have to pay for parking, so they do get you there. Here's another one of those crazy little bench seat things. And yeah, these are going to be on display through February 28th. And this is Portland. We are still building in some parts of Portland. I don't know what this building's going to be here, but they do have a nice little Christmas tree on the cranes. You know, I do like that a lot about all of the construction in this city, is that while we may perpetually be under construction, there's always little Christmas lights on the cranes, and they actually look really good. So there aren't really any lights down this street, so we're gonna get over to Pioneer Square as quickly as we can. So I do see there's 2 thumbs ups already. Well, cool, thanks guys. I got 2 thumbs up already. And I see we have a viewer as well. Nice. So, again, we are just leaving the World Trade Center. Behind me, we're gonna walk up to Pioneer Courthouse Square now, where the big tree is. And there's a lot of people at Pioneer Square, and I can't believe it. The mall is still open. It's Christmas Eve, and the mall is still open. Like everything else closed at 2. But I guess if you need to do last-minute Christmas shopping, you can apparently do it at Pioneer Courthouse Square, because it's still open. And I can't believe it. So, we are coming up on Yam Hill. There goes the Max. I'll show you the Max. That is... Oh, look, it's 404. Quality engineering not found. I hate the Type 4s. They're a piece of garbage. That's a Type 5 in the back. Ooh, let's go while Max still has his preempt. So this is Yamhill District now. So now we're starting to get to some of the lights leading up to Pioneer Square. This crazy Mongolian hot pot is open every single holiday. So I guess if you need like a restaurant for Christmas or New Year's or anything, they're open. So this is the mall here. That's Pioneer Place, and it's open. There are a ton of people there. I mean, they do have a Regal there, so I don't know if everybody's like going to go catch a movie before Christmas or what, but it's packed. All right, almost to the tree. So this is Yamhill. Morrison's on the other side, and each year there are lights that are actually on the tree year-round, but they don't plug them in until December. So P-Bot comes around and they plug them all in and they light up, and it's kind of nice. So you can hear there's a lot of crows here as well, and the crows have actually been a problem. So they actually have a falcon patrol that comes out where they have like a group of 6 people with these falcons, and they just release them to go get the birds. Because it used to be that these walkways were just completely covered in bird poop, and it was kind of bad. All right, so we're 2 blocks away from Pioneer Square. I'm gonna cross over at the next light so you can see some of the statues that they have at the old courthouse. Last year they were yarn bombed, which was kind of cool. Somebody like actually knitted a sweater for one of the otters, beavers actually. I think there's a beaver and an otter, and so that was cool. There's the Apple store. Here is the other end of the mall, and we're gonna cross over and start heading up. So give you a little peek inside the mall. They got like a ton of trees and little lights hanging down in the atrium. I'm not gonna go in because I won't get signal in there. But this is one of the Max platforms now. And in the distance, you can see some of the icicle lights of the actual courthouse coming up. So we're getting to the big tree. 2 more blocks to go. We're almost there. But this is the actual Pioneer Courthouse. It's a historic courthouse, and it's actually still a functioning courthouse. They do actually still have court cases that take place there. And thanks to the Max, we're gonna get our light here. Thank you, Mr. Blue Line. That one's a Type 3. So, at the courthouse, in addition to having lights up the tree, we have lights in the trees. And they have little wreaths in the windows as well. And it looks really good now that they're done refurbishing it. And in the summer, that's a fountain, but in the winter, they put little ribbons on all of the animals. Again, last year, someone actually yarn bombed them. It was really cool. It was a really nice bit of knitting. And now, what you've actually been waiting for, the tree. Let's go check out the tree. which everybody else had the same idea to do, and it's still actually kind of packed. There are a lot of people checking out the trees. So that is Pioneer Courthouse Square, or as we like to call it, Portland's living room. It used to be a parking garage, and they leveled it, and now it's the visitor center. And that is a live tree. That's a real tree. All right. Let's go take a look at the tree up close. And again, more of the lights on the street trees. So here it is. Ta-da! The tree. It is quite tall. It comes in via like 2 flatbed trucks, and it gets a police escort because it's so big. And they actually trim like a good chunk of the bottom off of it. When this first got here, this was actually a lot larger. They actually shortened it because it was so big. And these are all LEDs. So it's energy efficient. It's literally green. So this year, it is 75 feet tall. So I think it's actually a little bit taller than last year, because one year we had a 68-footer. And yeah, it's neat. You can stand under it and see underneath the lights, and it's just ridiculously tall. It just keeps going. And then down at the visitors center, they have some smaller trees. So that's the visitors information center inside. That's also where the TriMet ticket office is. That's another fountain in the warmer months. And we'll go up above and take a look down. So there's a lot of buildings around here that have some nice ambient lighting. That's Fox Tower with the red and green there. And I think Nordstrom's finally closing. So there's the tree. And we're gonna keep walking up. Get away from the stupid music, because we all know how much YouTube loves copyright. So there's another look at the tree. And that's the Meyer and Frank building, which they have finally taken the last of the Macy's signs down. And they are refurbishing it. Now let's head back down. And we'll head up via Morrison to Jamison Square, which is a bit of a walk, but they have another tree. It's not quite as big, but it has a neat little light show that it does. And there's Oregon's first Starbucks. Ooh.
Thank you so much.
This is Portland. You can get way better coffee in other places. I think it's the square that's actually doing the music. Oh, this is a lot taller than I remember it. Yeah, wow. That's Starbucks blasting the music. All right. I guess the outdoor speakers work again. All right, now we're gonna head up to the Pearl and see the tree in the Pearl District next. So this is Broadway. You got the lights of the signs on Broadway, but nothing really actually on Broadway. Here's Nordstrom. I got a couple little trees. And there you go. You can look at the window decorations. They change those out every year. Some years are better than others. Alrighty.
I was given 4 twos.
So this is Southwest Park Avenue. There's a couple of blocks here where the park blocks actually stop, but otherwise it's just continuous parks, and it's actually kind of nice. So we're coming up on the old Galleria now, where Target is. That used to be the Galleria. It's changed what it's been over the years. Now it's a Target, and I think that's about it, because I don't think there's anybody occupying the top floor of it anymore. This is one of the smart parks that we have that the city runs, and these are actually a really good deal on the weekends. It's just $5 flat for the whole day on the weekends. And now we're at another Max platform, and the lights basically stop once you get to the interstate, which is just kind of over that hill. But that's where all of the lights are along Yam Hill and Morrison. And it'll be a bit of a walk, but we're gonna go up to the Pearl District now, to Jamison Square, to see that tree. I'm almost tempted to get a streetcar, honestly. Well, let's see what we get. We'll cross over and we'll peek in Powell's as well, which I think is actually open till like 9 today. Powell's never sleeps, but they are closed tomorrow. So good for them with that being closed, because otherwise Powell's is open until 11 p.m. every single day of the week, including the cafe. All right. So now we're waiting for the light on 10th Avenue. And these 2 blocks here are actually going to get redeveloped really soon, which a lot of people are kind of sad about, because that's where we've had food carts for many years. And on the right, that's, I think, actually now the largest remaining food cart pod that we have here in Portland. Because the one that's on the left is now closed. Because they're gonna start putting up, I think it's a hotel there. This is Jake's Grill on the other side of the Sentinel, which is a neat hotel. I've never been in it, but it's a really nice hotel. And here we are at Boulder. And we can take a little peek at Target's window display there. They got a couple of trees. That counts, right? So this was food carts like 2 weeks ago, and now they're all gone. So now you got those food carts for now, but they want to develop on that plot of land pretty soon as well. So even their days are numbered there. And I forget if that building actually just got signed off on by the design commission. I bet that would look really good in red and green. Building right in the middle there. I think that's the CenturyLink building. If that's not CenturyLink, that's AT&T. I got some snowflakes in the window there at DocuMart. And there's a couple of lights down the road that way. And I think we're going to manage to get every single red light. Oh well. So we're going to be coming up on Powell's Books here in just a bit, which is the largest independent bookstore in the world. And it's a great place if you're looking for a book that's out of print, because there's a pretty good chance that Powell's has it. And they actually have a copy of one of the Lewis and Clark journals. And it's not the oldest book that they have, but it is by far the single most expensive book that they have in the rare book room. And now we are on Harvey Milk Street. This used to be Stark, and earlier in the year, the city council passed changing it to Southwest Harvey Milk on this side of the river and the interstate. And it's interesting because there was actually a little bit of a fight that was put up for that. There were apparently some people who did not want to rename the street to Harvey Milk, which you might be thinking is weird because, you know, Portland, we're progressive in whatever words you want to choose, right? Not always, actually. There's a lot of things that we're actually kind of behind in. So, there we go. Here is the world famous Powell's Books. The City of Books takes up literally an entire city block. They progressively bought up all of the tenants along the way. Yeah, you're going the wrong way.
Traveling north.
So I think that's Miriam Powell. I think she was CEO or something and is retiring this year. Now they have a new one. So I think that's what that's all about. But usually they have all the upcoming events on their marquee, and they have a lot of them, both at the City of Books and at their location in Beaverton, which is a lot smaller. But yeah, Powell's actually gets like hundreds of authors a year, and it's cool because they get like autographed copies too. And there goes the streetcar. That's one of the ones that was built over in Clackamas. So yeah. On the right was one of Powell's old spaces. Now it's the Made in Oregon shopper. No, that's Made Here PDX. That's what that one is. Made in Oregon's at the mall. And this is still Powell's. This is the kids section now in the back. So literally a full city block all the way up to the other end of the brewery blocks. And now we got to cross over because the sidewalk, of course, is closed. Because never-ending construction. So this is the brewery blocks district, so named because a lot of breweries used to be down here. Not so much anymore. There's still a couple of pubs that have a handful of, you know, things on tap. So if you want a beer, you can definitely get that, no problem, in Portland. You know, it rains a lot here, so they say go to the pub when it rains, which you can definitely do. And I apologize, it's going to be boring for several minutes until we actually get up to the Pearl. It's like 8-ish minute walk, depends on if I actually wait for all the traffic lights, which I do. And over here is an old armory that's actually now a place where they have a bunch of plays and stuff. So it's still called the Armory, and it's home to Portland Center Stage. I don't know terribly much about the history of the building, like how old it is or anything, but I would guess it's pretty old. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, you can't, but it actually says 1st Regiment Armory up there, which I honestly never realized until now, because I'm usually on the streetcar down here. I'm usually just blowing right through this way on the streetcar. Yeah, so it's pretty dead, because again, it is, of course, Christmas Eve and all of that funness. So there goes the armory in back. Where is that? There you go. That's the armory back there. So we're about halfway to the Pearl District now, where we'll go up to Jamison Square and see the tree that they have there. And this building I really like. This used to be a little garden, and I guess the tenant like went bust or something, so it's no longer garden. This is one of the streetcar platforms that we closed 2 years ago now, I think. And so now it's a bike town station instead. And here's a little bit of history for you. This is the old Otis Elevator building here in Portland. And now I think it's a shoe store or something like that. There's a Ben & Jerry's. Oh, hey, how about that? We got a light for once. A few lights down that way on the street. It's a nice little wreath there. So now we're entering the Pearl District, which a lot of people will try and tell you is the really expensive district of Portland, and in some ways it is, but one of the things that I think a lot of people forget is it is a very historical district. So you have all this kind of neat little bits of old architecture around. Did they level most of it? Yes. Is it mostly new construction? Yes. Which is unfortunate, you know, to an extent. But I think some of the buildings were tastefully done. And a good handful of these buildings actually are rent-controlled apartments. Which, if you think the Pearl District is just the really expensive, trendy district of Portland, might surprise you knowing that. Well, let's see, who do we got? We got an A-loop. And that's car number 3. That's one of the check cars. That's going on 16 years old now. They are getting tired. All right, you see those lights up there in the corner? That's our next destination. That's going to be Jamison Square. Yep. So we're halfway to the next point, which I guess for 30 minutes isn't too bad. I'm getting my walking again. And now we wait here forever for the light to change. So there are some apartments or condos. Somebody's got a little bit of a color in the corner there. Alright, coming up on Jamison. There's some like rugs place, so I guess if you need rugs, you can get a rug there. There's an endangered species, a surface parking lot. I think we're on a quest apparently in the city to get rid of as many surface parking lots as possible. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed that the Pearl District doesn't have more lights. Although, there you go, in the distance there, someone put some lights up on a water tower, so that's kind of cool. Way over there in the distance is the main post office, which is scheduled for demolition. That'll be another redevelopment soon. Alright, let's cross over to Jamison. That's another new building there. That's the Diane. And where a streetcar is off to the right, it's pretty much where we're going to be going. So another 2 blocks to go, and then we'll be at Jamison Square, and hopefully the tree will still be on. I don't know if they turn the tree off or anything at certain hours of the night. I'd hope not. Hopefully it's still going. I don't know if it's a real tree or a fake one either, but I can tell you we'll find out soon. Very soon. So, now we got some street lights going again. And I don't know what the history is with that building there, but it's like an old shell of a building that they kept part of it. And now there's a bunch of offices and a cafe and stuff in there. And it's really neat that there's just the shell of the building that's left. It's all exposed brickwork. And there's a lot of buildings like that the further north you get in Portland, especially if you get into the Northwest Industrial District. All right, good. The tree is turned on. All right, there's tree number 2. That's the one that does the little light show. And it just kind of cycles through the colors. So you got some blues, purples, yellows, greens, colors. And while, yes, it's not nearly as tall as the one in Pioneer Square, I think this one's cooler. Just because of the fact that it does a light show. I mean, look at that. I don't mind it at all when the streetcar gets stuck down here this time of year, because you can just watch out the window at the tree and silently hope that the streetcar never starts moving again. So in the summer, this is a fountain. But now, it's a tree with a light show. Let's get a little closer look at it. There's no plaque to say where it came from or if it's real or anything. It looks like it's real. I think this is real. You know what? One way to find out. We're going to touch it. Oh yeah, that's real. That's very wet and very real. This is neat. I never noticed this down here before. There's a little projection of snowflakes, which I guess is coming from one of those lights up there. So yeah, everybody goes to Pioneer Square for that tree, and it's cool. It's tall and all of that, but it doesn't give you a light show like this one does. So I would argue that this is the better one. Ooh, little strobe there. Oh, psychedelic. And so Got another tree-lined walkway here. Oh, no one put a scarf on the bear this year. That's too bad. Well, there you have it. I have no idea how long this is because I've honestly never sat here and watched the whole thing. But man, is it neat. I guess it does play music just really quietly, so that's not bad. I don't think it's synchronized to the music. Maybe. I like this one a lot better. Much better. Well, I don't know of anywhere else with lights around here. So there is the last bit of the decorations here in Portland. I hope you enjoyed them. Got a good walk out of it. And I guess now it's restarting. All right, well, that's gonna be it. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Sorry that there's so many pauses between all the lights here, but they're kind of cool, I think. So that'll do it. Have a good one.